There we go.
No problem. Hey guys, we're starting out here in element 9, and we're so glad that you're joining us. In our agenda today, we're going to go through the mindset, skill set, and the actions of our fuelings and our lean and green meal, and what they do for us and how they were created. We're obviously going to explore the value and the simplicity, which is what we were touching on about the fuelings. Create a simple and convenient fueling plan. We're going to get into what they call the habits of health clock, and we'll show you that in a few minutes, and just understand the value of the timing and eating of the healthy foods. All right, Jace.
All right. So Dr. A always has a good quote. So I'm going to go ahead and read this one. It says, eating something healthy every 3 hours that will optimize your nutrition and at the same time help you create a healthy weight is asking most people to step out of their comfort zone. Here we are going to introduce a powerful way to overcome the logistical barriers to creating a healthy weight and eating pattern.
Yes. And I think when he's referring here to the uncomfortable, ness and asking us to do something different than we normally do, is most people are, 3 staple meals or not eating all day long. So the idea of fueling your body every couple of hours is pretty new, or kind of maybe we know we should do it, but we just don't do it unless you're already a pretty normally weighted person. I don't know if you think about your friends who have really never struggled with their weight, or I know that most of mine in that case are what I used to call them grazers, where they just eat a little bit here and a little bit later they'd eat a little bit more and a little bit more. Well, same concept really, is you're fueling your body just the amount it needs for the time being, and then it burns it all off and then some. So, our fuelings, we're going to jump in here, our best in class. Obviously we have a great variety. They are portion controlled and convenient. If one of the tips that Kelly had taught me early on was, throw 5 of them in a bag for the day, grab the bag and go. Always put extra in your car or in your desk at work, because you never know when you're going to get caught, longer at places or work overtime, or, in car line or the doctor's office or whatever, that you don't expect to be there as long as you're going to be. And so, and they're also my kids. I always think I refill our fuelings in the car, and I have plenty. Nope, I get in and thankfully I keep a couple extra in my purse, because my kids, they know we have a cooler bag every morning that we fill with ice packs and waters and a bunch of fuelings, because we're always on the go with, having so many. So they're definitely, wow, cost effective. I love that one. When I first started, I, like probably many of you, I thought, I don't know, this, I don't think I spend this much. And, kind of the whole concept in our heads. But let me tell you what, now that I know what I know and how I've learned how to keep my weight off, I'd pay 400 times, first of all. And Optavia has gone up, I think it was 7%, maybe in the last, 4 years that I've been with them, while everything else is going up 30%. I took my kids to we had to go through Chick-fil-A recently. We don't do fast food very often anymore, but went through, got them some things. It was like 12 something a meal. So that was one meal. So the fact that we have this great program and it comes to your door, obviously all the great things about it, that you don't have to go to the store and worry about it. And it replaces, I don't know if you've done your budget, but for, I'd say 98% of people, it actually saves you money, or there's a break even. And if you're one that maybe it's a couple dollars more a day, if you have a slight investment in your health, which what you can invest now or you can pay later. So, but both by your health and by your finances. So anyways, and they're just easy to use, you can use them long term. When you get to your goal and you go through a transition, you certainly don't have to stay on them. Most of us do as coaches for the ones are, 3 in a day for our in-betweens. We still eat 6 times. And so I can either support my local grocery store, or I can support my company with these amazing products that I don't have to think about trying to figure it out. So, you can use them in long term as well. So. It's not advancing, so give us 2 seconds.
Make sure, there we go.
Yes, and I love our studies. We have a place where you can go to look at all of our clinical studies, and it's actually in Coach's Answers. And if you want that from your coach, we certainly can provide that for you, to show that in all the different studies that we've done, the people who are using the fuelings lose literally 10 times more on the 5-in-1 plan than they do if they're just a self-guided plan. Because when you get up, I don't know if anybody else was like this, but when you came onto plan, did you have it all together emotionally and mentally, and where you just wanted to weigh and measure, and you already knew what to do, and you knew exactly what to put together. No, none, hardly any of us did, if anybody. We came here because we were probably, well, I won't say I was a hot mess. And I needed that room to breathe where I just could come up for air, start seeing some results. And that's one of the main reasons that these are created, is to really be able to get us on our journey in an easy way. We still have the lean and green meal so that we have responsibility and skin in the game. Dr. Anderson didn't want us to be 100% dependent on being where we could get comfortable or lazy. He wanted us to know what is the correct portion size, what do we pair together as our protein and our vegetables and things. So we'll get a little bit more into that. But with the ease of having the fuelings, you can actually start to focus on the head work and the heart work, and really break up with those chains of addiction that are holding you back. And for me, it was really even a spiritual battle, where I had to say, okay, how am I fueling my body where the Holy Spirit lives, and what do I need to do to break that chain? I thankfully wasn't with drugs or alcohol, but I was addicted to sugar and food. And so it's something we have to battle with every day, because you have to eat. So anyways, in this study, like it says, it's 10 times more likely. I'll take that. I needed that. So obviously, we know with our lean and green, you're going to have 5 to 7 ounces of whatever lean protein you pick. Don't forget about your healthy fat serving. If it's a 7-ounce or a 6-ounce portion, the leanest or the leaner, you're going to add that healthy fat, and the 3 servings of veggies. The conversion chart is great. If you're not familiar with that, make sure you get with your coach, because you actually get more food, and it's more accurate than trying to do your green beans in a cup. Renee did a great video cooking her lean and green that she dropped into Transformational Living the other day, about the difference of what you get when you're weighing it out versus when you're using the conversion chart. I also had a brilliant client. I hadn't thought of this in 4.5 years, but if you have an Alexa or a Siri or somebody that lives in your phone, that you can ask questions to. One of my clients said, I just ask Alexa. I say, Alexa, how many ounces is half a cup of green beans? And then she tells me, and I know how to weigh it out. And I thought, yeah, 4.5 years, never thought of that. So pretty brilliant on their part. That's another easy way to go through it. All right, here is the Habits of Health clock. You're going to choose, and I don't know if y'all have seen this. Actually, I do know that you've seen it, but I don't know if you're putting together what this looks like, but it's really the Nautilus. It's our Optavia logo. And it's very specific in how Dr. A has designed this to work for us. There's an hour of twilight right before we go to sleep. That's preparing your mind and your heart and your head, and journaling it out and turning off the electronics and all of that, blue light glasses and the things that usher in better sleep. And we have a great element later on about that. But then here, you're gonna start the dial. Where's your first fueling gonna be? And then you're gonna space them out, as you can see, going around the dial. You're going to prepare, obviously, your 1 lean and green, so that'll be in there as well. And then use this clock. If you are on a night shift, which happens a lot with our nurses and things, this is very doable as well. Get with your coach if you're having a hard time figuring it out. Sometimes even with teachers, I walk them through, like, when is your lesson planning period? When is your break? When do they go to PE or the playground or art or whatever their things are? So use us, lean into your coaches, because we have had most likely someone or many people who have paved this path before you, and we can work with you and your schedules and helping you really figure this out well. Okay, so with this next week, we have a lot of we know from hearing Cheryl speak last week about the fuelings and fueling your body every 3 weeks. Tell me a few things. What are our goals going to be for this next week? If someone even asks about the fuelings, I did want to address that, because we just had recently one of our coaches drop in the information about when someone says they don't do prepackaged foods, and how will you handle that? And one of the terminologies that he used back, that was from Dr. Anderson, was that they're medical grade. And it's not just, some people say, oh, it's in a package, and they just give it a label, literally, but they give it a label. And it's been put together definitely more scientifically than that, and with great consideration with the exact carbs and proteins and all of it. There are not artificial colors. There's not artificial Tammy was mentioning earlier, the aspartame or all of those kinds of things. So, if someone does address that with you, we can give you some verbiage, or just, you don't have to oblige the conversation either, but that's sometimes sometimes the feedback that we hear from other people. So let's pop off a mute. Oh, first of all, before I forget, and I know this is kind of a squirrel, but I wanted to take a second to say happy birthday to Phyllis, as she's out there, I think, and also to Cheryl. I think her birthday was yesterday, and anybody else whose birthdays are in June. And maybe we'll try and start doing that each month if we can remember. You guys can help us. But, but we just wanted to say happy birthday to you all, and that we're so glad that you're part of us and that you're here with us. Tell me, come off mute if you will, and tell us if you have something in this next week that you're thankful for, like a challenge that you're facing, traveling, that kind of a thing, and how you're going to utilize taking the Fuelings with you. I know that there's so many people going on vacation right now, and we are here for the next few minutes, just to really come up with ideas if you haven't done that already, or for other people to pop off mute and share what they're doing. I will share one tip with you. If you're flying, take your powdered Fuelings and put them in a Ziploc, put them in your checked bag. If you put them in your purse, then TSA usually will swipe each one of them down with a swab, so they make sure you're not going to blow up the plane by brownie. so make sure that you put those in a Ziploc, because I had one client very early on in this process. She had shoved a bunch of them in her purse, and she was almost late for her flight. She almost missed the flight because they were swabbing, each packet down. So who's going to be traveling and coming up, and has a plan already, or who has traveled a lot recently or in the past, that you'll want to come off mute and share how having the Fuelings and knowing what to do in your Lena Green has benefited you.
Hi, Noelle. I'll go.
Good morning, Cheryl.
Hi, and thank you for the birthday wishes. It was a great day. So I am actually flying to North Carolina on Wednesday. So yes, I actually put my packaged powder Fuelings in a separate Ziploc, my bars, I count everything out, plus extra just in case, because you never know if you're going to get stuck, miss a flight, whatever. And I generally try to do direct flights, but unfortunately this time, coming from the middle of Iowa, I have to have a connection. So I always make sure that then I have bars, something really super simple like crunchers or something in my bag to eat on the plane. So I'm not tempted to take the little snacks they throw on your counter, or you're on your seat, when you're flying. And then of course, an empty water bottle, so that as soon as I get through TSA, I fill that up. And so I'm ready to go. And I find it super easy. And when people ask me, what are you eating? Or they ask me about the pre-packaged Fuelings, I just want to touch on that for a minute, because I ask them to go open your cupboards and tell me what is in there that isn't pre-packaged. Oh, and oh, by the way, open your refrigerator too. Tell me what's in your refrigerator that hasn't been processed. Even the butter you're eating has been processed. If you didn't go out back and churn it yourself and milk the cow, everything we eat and consume and handle in today's American diet's been processed or handled or by someone. So when you kind of give it to them that way, they kind of go, oh, yeah.
Very good point.
So, anyway, thank you.
Yes, thank you for sharing. Very, very good point. Michelle, I see your hand out.
Yeah, I've been traveling a lot in May. I think I was out more than I was in. And it was just crazy. If I didn't have those Fuelings with me, it would have been so difficult to manage that. I was actually in Cincinnati for 3 days, and on my way home, the flight back was delayed 6 hours.
Oh, mercy.
So United, it was a problem with the plane. They're like, oh, our check engine light came on. I'm like, oh, that's not good. So they ended up putting everybody up in a hotel and giving them dinner money and stuff like that. But, I had my Fuelings for the next morning. I was ready to go. I had extras because of that's how I do it. I always keep some in my purse, and it didn't make me skip a beat. And it was just so much easier than saying, okay, I'm in an airport. What the heck can I eat? it's not always easy when that's your only option.
Yes, you're so true. And having extras is key.
Exactly.
Congratulations on preparing ahead, because that's vital. And I would beckon to guess that you probably had a good, healthy weight loss in the month of May with all that traveling and stuff too.
Oh yeah, I did.
Congratulations on that. And staying on plan. That's really a true testimony to your drivenness and your way to have structure and preparedness. So that's excellent. Congratulations.
Thanks.
All right, Sandy, girl, good morning. Your turn.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Good to be here. I just wanted to say, yeah, I totally agree with everyone. The two ladies who spoke about being prepared. I definitely enjoy having the bars and the crunchers with me in my pocket when I go to the airport. And one of the perks that I enjoy is that I always think, I'm like, look at how much money I'm saving by not having to buy anything at the airport. And so I use that as a treat when I come back and go to take my husband and kids to dinner with that money that I saved. So that's always an incentive for me. It's like, this is great. we are going to Ireland, actually. We leave Tuesday. So we prepared by ordering lots of bars and crunchers, because we want to be prepared. We're going to be walking. We're going to be out a lot. So we want, Joe and I wanted to have those things prepared. So that's how. Obviously, we're taking our empty bottles we can fill them up with water. And so yeah. So I'm learning a lot of tips here too, so that I can be more prepared for. So for my first time out to Europe, been to Canada and other countries, but haven't been to Europe. So it's going to be exciting.
Wonderful. Well, have a safe trip. And that's fantastic that you guys have all of that prepared and ordered early and ready to go. So congratulations on that. All right, Gretchen, you'll wrap us up.
Well, we're heading back to Houston. That 12-hour drive is going to be exciting. And so I usually have my little day's journey in my little bag, and I make sure I have extras just in case somebody wants to share. But I just make sure that I eat my first meal before we leave and guzzle down 1 or 2 bottles of water before we make that trip, so I don't make my husband stop as soon as we get started. And then I just get the bottle of water in between stops. Like he said, okay, we're gonna stop in the next 30 minutes. Okay, then I guzzle down the next bottle of water. So by the time we stop, I'm ready to go. And then I'll be good to go for the next stop. And then that's how I do my water, so I don't get behind on my water too. So, but I just love how I can just have my food in my bag. I just love that on the go. It's amazing. Optavia is so amazing. I thank God for it all the time.
Well, you have a safe trip as well. And I love that you pointed out about the water and even how to time that. That's really a critical thing for sure, because that's going to release and open up and wash out those fat cells too. So that's a great point as well. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. I hope you have had a great morning and that you have a wonderful weekend.
Take care, everybody.